Mic check, mic check. Okay. Wow. I'm talking away and all of a sudden I realize, yeah, I don't have audio. It's always something. It's always something. Probably caught me messing around with my mic. Oh, always something. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raven's Outpost, where any damn thing could happen. So, um, tonight we're going to be talking about a cryptid that I know not a whole lot about, actually. Um, the Dogman. Um, and maybe we'll swing over to some UFO sightings or animal mutilations. Because I'm kind of working on something like that right now. I'll be going out in the field Saturday to take a look at a property that has had some activity on it. Um, the homeowner right now doesn't seem to be concerned about it for whatever reason, and that's cool. If they don't care, that's cool. They're prepared for whatever. That's cool. But it's something I'd like to look into because it may not just be them. That may be, you know, I wouldn't say in danger, but who may be affected by whatever this is that's out there. So, well, I got this report. It kind of fell in my lap. I talked about it the other night on the Halloween special, and at at first glance, I've heard about the Sasquatch sightings that turn out to be pretty rough, and I know that sometimes, you know, things aren't what they seem. But here's the deal. Yeah, I've been looking into it. I've been talking to a couple of friends of mine who have got more experience actually than I do in certain fields, and I mean that's what you do. I can't rely on myself solely. My knowledge base only goes so far. Um, I showed pictures the other night of what had happened on this property to a mini horse. It's a mini horse. Now, you know, they could their weight is way up there. You know, 500-600 pounds, maybe more, 750 pounds for a small horse. I mean, they can get they're pretty heavy, but it was drug and I misquoted. It was I said 150 yards away, and I said that's a good long distance to drag this thing away. But here's the thing: what I when I went back and looked at these texts that I was having back and forth with the homeowner, uh, and the owner of the animals. I was looking at, and it was 150 feet, 100 to 150 feet, not yards, feet. And you're thinking, well, that's not very far at all. That's right. That's not very far at all. And that's away from the enclosure they were in, which is not that far from their dwelling, their house. 100 to 150 feet isn't very far at all. I got back in touch with her later on because I'm doing some investigation before I get there. Trying to determine what could have done this. I want to rule out um, everything. I want to determine what it is. It might not be a cryptid, you know, but for me personally, from what I know, my knowledge base, and what I'm being told from people outside of this, I mean, they're not actually part of the investigation. There are people that I've called on. I said, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you look at this and take it and tell me what you think? And I've got some pretty good feedback, and I'm actually having the um, the photos that were sent to me looked at by a professional, someone who gets paid to do this. So, yeah, it's it's a bothersome case actually. When I found out that the homeowner has children, the homeowners have children, um, school age children, and 100 to 150 feet is not far at all. And when I was talking to the homeowner again about the subject, and setting up a time where I could come out and take a look at the property, see what I could find, they were like, "Well, you can't find the horse is gone now, so you won't be able to take a look at that." And when they said that, I'm thinking, okay, they buried it. So, and I wouldn't ask them to dig it back up to look at it. That's just ridiculous. It's not worth all that. You bury a horse, you bury a horse. It's done, over with, poof. But a little bit further into the conversation, I find out that they did not do that. Something came back and got that horse. She said, they say, well, something must have gotten really hungry because they come back and got it. The whole thing was gone, drug off, gone. It could have been the only natural critter out there right now that I think it possibly could have been, would have been a bear. But it's even for a black bear, it's uncharacteristic to do what it did to that horse. And the same type of thing was done to a goat not a few weeks beforehand. The head and neck were severed from the body. The body was just left there. I'd asked the homeowner if they'd found the head. Nope, the head was gone. Head and neck gone. Disappeared. Poof. And a couple of the people I've been talking to, they're like, you know, this sounds a little macabre. It could be a ritualistic killing. You know, said it could be. It could be human beings doing it. But that's something I'd like to determine because, like I said, having a child of my own, family, and having contact with some of these critters out in the woods, I know how dangerous they could be, and these people are just, they don't seem to care about it. I mean, maybe they do to a certain degree, but I believe the comment was, "It is what it is," and I can respect that. I can totally respect that. But this is something different. This is something new. Let's chalk it up to this. This is something that will help me learn. Okay. And I've been given an opportunity to come investigate the property, and that's what I'm going to do. Um, Take a look around, see what I can find, see if there's any anomalies out there that somebody who doesn't know what to look for, you know, maybe I could find something that they missed. You know, um, but I've heard of the Sabe people, the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them. I've heard of them, getting into chicken houses and killing um, livestock. Um, for odd reasons, for sometimes for no reason at all. And I just don't know. I just don't know. Um, Another friend of mine, he said maybe it's not a Sasquatch, maybe it's not a Sasquatch at all, maybe it's a Dogman. And God, I hope not. A freaking werewolf out there killing stuff. Um, but it could be something extraterrestrial. Hey, Painless, how you doing? Why am I going out to the property again? This is not again. I've not yet been out there. I've been told about it. I was asked if I could come out there and do some investigation to determine what it is, because these, like I was saying, these people have children, and 150 to 100 to 150 feet, not very far, and that's ballsy. And they're killing animals. Um, who's to say if somebody's out there? I mean, I hate to be this way, but it is what it is. If somebody's out there, what's to stop them? The ballsy. What if it attacks one of the human beings that live there? You know, it's forewarned is forearmed. If I can find some type of evidence that they haven't been able to find, or don't know what to look for, maybe I can give them a little info. Forewarned is forearmed. And going out there on the property to see for myself firsthand, because there's a lot the pictures aren't telling me. So the land can tell me a lot, and the people who live there can tell me a lot. It's not just that, though. You see, it's hey Eric, how you doing, buddy? It's not just the animal mutilations that's going on. They've seen lights in the mountain. As I stated, I think I talked about this in the special on Sunday. They've seen lights. They will shoot up straight up into the sky very fast, and then some of them will just hover. Odd. And they've had a bright light up their bedroom. They have a picture window in their bedroom, right? And this has happened a couple of times, they say, that a bright light has just flooded their bedroom. I mean, super bright. And another friend that I've been talking to, and yeah, I thought I did. That I didn't ask what color the lights were. A friend of mine asked me what color were the lights. I said, man, I forgot to ask that question. And these are working folk. They're what you might call normies. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I mean they're just normal folk. They don't have any idea about a lot of this stuff. The husband thinks it's a lot of bullshit. She straight up said that he was laughing at the fact that we were saying that there could be Sasquatch there on the property. It's Sasquatches here in Virginia. Period. And I'm like, that's okay. It's cool. 6 years ago, I would have done this. Well, I'm doing the calculations now. Time gets away from you. 7, 8 years ago, I would have said, yeah, no, that's bullshit. I don't believe in that. And that was my arrogance, Um, Well, you just don't know what's going to happen next. And was this an isolated incident? It's killed twice, whatever it was. Yeah, yeah, he'll be laughing until he's not. Yeah, but but he's seen things he can't understand. But you know, but like I said, I I got to say I can't blame the fella. I can't blame the husband. The wife, um, the one I contacted, she's had paranormal experiences happen to her before. Her mother had paranormal experiences happen to her. She knew about Sasquatch. She knew about it. She looked for it. And you're right, Painless. We are all arrogant until it happens to us. And she pretty much said the same thing. Most people don't believe in the paranormal until it happens to them, and that's coming from her. And she's had paranormal experiences. But there's a certain point where some people who it's either normal to them and they just say, well, it's part of every day, or they look at it like, well, I can't explain it, but I got other shit to do. I can't be sitting around worrying about this all the time. And they dismiss it and they'll go on about their life and say it is what it is. It's possible. It's very well possible. You know, it's hard to tell what the children have seen and aren't talking about. Lots of times that happens. There's a slew of questions I'd like to ask, um, but who knows? Uh, but I know it. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I was thinking beforehand that it was Sasquatch, but mm, I don't know. And I got to thinking about Dogman and how brutal they can be. Um, I was looking, like I said, I was looking at those pictures, and it could have been a bear. Okay, but where did all the blood go? They don't just clean up after themselves. They just don't do it. A big cat. Now, that's the only thing that I can think of that comes close to what I saw. Now they'll start. A big cat will start if it kills when it kills a deer or something like that. Will start the chest cavity right below the thorax, right here. They'll start there, start breaking open the bone. They'll actually nip at the fur, right, and clean that off before they start digging in. They take their time to do that so that all that's not getting into the organs. That once they get through the rib cage and all that, they'll start in with the lungs, the liver, the heart, right? And here's another thing a big cat will do because it takes like anywhere like 3 to 5 days for them to finish off a kill like that. They'll keep coming back to it and they'll cover it up. If they can't bury it, they'll cover it up and hide it. Okay. But before they do that, and this is ingenious on a part of an animal that you would think is just, they will remove the stomach. Uh, a big cat, a mountain lion, will remove the stomach and bury it. They'll take it off and bury it far away from their kill because they don't want that stomach busting and letting the stomach acids just destroy the meat that's in there. bears and cats take off the whole carcass, they'll drag it off, but bears are not as neat as cats are, and a bear will leave it lay. Cat will cover it up. Like I said, it could have been a bear. But the only thing that blows my mind is the fact that there was no blood. It was like it was totally exsanguinated. Like all the blood was drained out of it. And if you look at the picture, a buddy of mine was he looked at it and said, "What the hell? I don't know what did that, man. It could have been this, it could have been that, but I don't know. Tell you what, I'll take this and I'll send it to a wildlife biologist, one who's trained to do that. So I've got contacts. I've got people I can send this stuff to. Hey, who knows? 27% of Americans believe in Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Well, that's good. That's absolutely amazing. That is. Yeah, no blood, man. And the same thing went for that goat. Keep talking about the horse because I showed pictures of the horse. But don't mention the goat. The head and neck completely gone. The rest of the body was left behind. Nothing was touched. And you sit back and you think, well, that's one thing that would make you think if it was a horned goat, you're thinking some type of Satanist um, bunch out there. They wanted that as an effigy, right? For a Baphomet, an actual goat's head to represent a Baphomet. If you know what I'm talking about, dude. Even if that is the thing, if that was a ritualistic killing, if the horse was taken out, the fence was busted, it was dragged out, it for that to happen, that's they're willing to do that. It's hard to tell what else they're willing to do. Once they get high on whatever they're doing, they don't need to be on drugs. The rituals that themselves mess with your mind and put you in a state of some type of euphoria, and you're sometimes willing to do just about anything to keep it going, just like a drug addict. So if it is human in nature, which, I'm not ruling that out either. That's why I want to go out there, and that's why I want to look for myself. I mean, dude, I thought about, this would be interesting. This would be cool to look at, another research spot. I found out about the kids, man. I'm like, no, man, no, I got to find out what's going on. And I got to hit this hard. I need to find out. Because, like I said, I know people, they haven't reported this to anybody. As far as I know, they have reported nothing to anyone. Painless, you're absolutely right. Those freaks are scarier than 11-foot Sasquatch. And I would trust a Sasquatch before I would trust these individuals. Yeah, you would think there would be some trace of human activity, but I don't know. Look, I don't know how long the show's going to be tonight. I got a big day tomorrow, and that's why I kind of started it early. And really not feeling all that great, but I'm going to do what I got to do. Because what they say, the show must go on. there should be traces of human activity. Um, you'd think you would think that there would be. Um, like I said, I want to get out there and take a look. So it'll be over a week since it happened. So it's a cold area, but there still may be something out there that I could find. And we've had rain too, so it might be hard. But if it is a cryptid, they're kind of, I don't know, some of them are ritualistic in their own sense. They're kind of ADD in a certain sense. They're they're more likely to do things out of habit, break things, bend things, do things a certain way. So that way I'll know. But yeah, I'm going back out there Saturday and talk to them and see what they have to say. You, talking to someone in person is a lot different than talking to them in text. And that's why lots of times if you're talking to someone through text and you're having, a discussion, and one word and phrase can be worded in such a way that it's taken out of context. And then somebody's getting their feelings hurt over nothing. Or there's a meaning in there that it wasn't meant to be this way. It's something's always taken out of context. But if you're sitting down talking to someone physically, you read body language, facial expression, how they accentuate the words and phrases and all that other stuff, and you can tell all that. I mean, it's just basic human behavior, and you can tell. You can sit down, and I've been able to tell if someone's bullshitting me or not just by the way they talk to me. I mean, it was my job. I've been able to do that for years. If I hadn't been able to do that and judge situations and people the way I've been blessed to be able to do it, I don't know. I don't think I'd be here right now talking to you. There's been a couple of hairy situations I've been in, but can I do a live from there on Saturday? I don't know. From where they're at, it's really remote, and I doubt I'll be able to get a signal. But I will film the biggest part of it. That's my intention, to film the biggest part of it, to document it, and put it out here for you guys to see. And I don't know if they're willing to be interviewed or not. If they are, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I will take their statements and I'll read them back to you. I'll put it in the show when I do production, and go in and edit that in. But I don't know. I seriously doubt I'll be able to do a live out there. But if I can, I will. Probably be using StreamYard. But if I can, I will. I thought about that. If I could go live and do it. Well, I appreciate it, Painless. I appreciate it. So how's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing okay? I hope so. It's just hump day. It's just Wednesday. But yeah, I'm here in Virginia. I don't know if you've been following any of the election news, but we got a new governor. I'm looking forward to that. I'll not talk politics, but I will tell you this. It's not politics, it's a world attitude. And that good, I'm glad to see you doing good, Eric. I want to call you Rick all the time, man. It's all right. Yeah, Southern California. Oh my God. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah, Youngkin. He's a people person. And if he does what he says he's gonna do, man, how can you be mad at that? I mean, this other dude wanted to take parental rights away from you when it comes to your child's education, dude. That put the stick it where the sun don't shine, man. Oh man, it was red like a Lord. It was red. It was red. Okay, my county. I hate to say it. Yeah, you can move to Virginia now, I believe. Give it a year. Give it a year, and then move. We'll see what happens if everything goes like he says it's going to do. But Youngkin, Governor Youngkin. So look, there's an attitude and an energy that flows through all this, and I'm a little bit empathic, and I can feel changes that happened, man, and I could feel like there was a weight lift. I looked at that. I looked, and my state said, "Hell no." It screamed it. Hell no. The same thing happened here in Virginia that happened in the United States in 2015 when the ballots were cast and Trump was elected president. Yeah. How you doing there, Kingston? Glad to see you here. Yep. I love it. I love it. Oh, and by the way, I still haven't figured out how to get guests on here yet. I don't know what I'm going to have to. I don't know what I'm doing something wrong. Uh, I'm going to have to get yet another friend to take a look and see what I've done to screw this up. But supposedly, I should be able to get Skype to work flawlessly here and work real good. So I could have guests on this platform right here without having to go to StreamYard. You can only do so much on StreamYard when you're doing it free, and I hate that watermark they have to put up there. The duck. The duck. The duck. Anywho. But like I said, I got to looking at getting back to the carcass of the horse. That horse, it was cleanly cut all the way down, and completely hollowed out, completely. Um, I got to thinking about Dogman, werewolf, bipedal canine type creature. That yeah, he is a first time politician. Glenn Youngkin. Yeah, he some people said he was too nice to be a politician, and I was beginning to think that too because McAuliffe was slinging dirt and shit. I mean, he was slinging shit like a monkey at the zoo, and dude, calling him all kinds of vile stuff, and it's like he was standing there taking it. I said, "Well, you're a bigger man than I am, but don't you think you need to fight?" But he waited. He He was like Rocky. He he roped and doped him and let McCullough hang himself, and then he just pounded him in the ground. I'm like, that's awesome. It's like, dude, you the man. We got a new lieutenant governor, the first black female lieutenant governor in Virginia. About that shit. I hate this. I hate to put it to say it that way, but that's how society looks at things now. But all of us conservative types are racist, right? Um, I'm more of a leaning libertarian than I am a Republican, but I vote Republican because that's about the best choice I got out there. I mean, the Democratic Party has just lost their damn mind. But that's just my opinion. Um, yeah, yeah. Eric. Um, don't like I said, I don't want to get on politics, but I'm really happy about what happened. God bless America. Uh, well, we. So I pulled up some stuff here about black bears. So you know, looking at the two possible natural culprits um, for this thing, we're looking at this one or this one. You know, and conflicts. Black bears, Ursa americanus, may damage bird feeders, beehives, and crops, as well as raid trash cans and dumps. On occasion, they will enter buildings and vehicles in search of food. If a bear has entered a structure, immediately contact your local police agency. Black bears may travel many miles in early summer seeking food and prior to breeding season. They may end up in suburban areas such as parks and schools. If a bear is treed in an urban area, keep people and pets away and let the bear leave on its own if possible. Guarding and translocation of bear is high. A bear bears of a bear is high risk for both the bear and agency staff. uh, get tongue tied. Although black bears generally avoid humans, they have attacked people. However, encountered their rarely fatal. Always respect bears and keep a safe distance. If a bear starts to approach, shout and wave your arms and try to scare the animal. So here's the thing I'm thinking about. You know, black bears generally get not that big around here. You know, but I've seen a big one. There was a big one here last summer, but this past summer, summer before last, and I would say that rascal, if it stood up, it would have been close to 7 feet tall. That's a big black bear. That's a big black bear. But I've seen them 200, 300 pounds. Um, I've seen them about 150 pounds. Some of most of them are about between 150, 200 pounds, 210 pounds, something like that, around here. They're not that big, and they're strong, but I don't know. Like I said, just I don't know. It's just something screams weird to me about the whole thing. Yeah, that's right. They should be getting ready to go into hibernation. True enough. But for them to get that close and actually kill that horse, but what killed the goat? Now it's the same type of cut in the horse that they described it as on the goat. I mean, it was like it was done with a scalpel. I mean, you remember I showed you the pictures. I mean, they were pretty graphic, but from its the base of its neck all the way down to its hindquarters, it was ripped completely open and hollowed out. The horse was, and the goat had neck removed. Keep repeating that. You guys are gonna know it as well as I do. That's because this is just a weird freaking case. It's weird. And the one thing I keep skipping over, I should mention more, are the sightings of the lights they keep seeing. They keep seeing these lights. And another gentleman I keep talking to, another buddy of mine I keep talking to, and I, hell, I'm just gonna name drop him, Max Powers. I'm sure most of you guys know who Max Powers is, right? Well, I was talking to Max, and Max was telling me, he said when he was a kid, his dad had leased some land to a farmer, to a cattle farmer, and he wound up losing some beef cattle that year, and they were mutilated. They were cut open, and there were pieces of them removed, tongues cut out, um, pieces cut off their cheeks, and all this other stuff. And it's I don't know. Yeah, yeah. In the springtime, I think is one of the most dangerous. Man, they're waking up, they're groggy, and they want something to eat, and most of them don't give a shit. Yep, yep. You're absolutely right. You're right on the money with that. But you know, black bear's the only one we got around here, unless there's something around here else that we don't know about, which is freaking possible. It's very well possible. So I don't know. But take a look at this one real quick, huh? So one of the strangest phenomena in the realm of the paranormal and cryptozoology is that of the supposed real werewolves, and in particular that of what is known as the Dogman. Much like Bigfoot, these appear as hulking, massive mountains of fur and muscle, yet rather than ape-like, they are described as having decidedly canine features, often with the tail, and of alternating between walking on 2 feet and all fours. They've been sighted in a range of locations and serve to really go into the truly outlandish. Yet, for as weird and scary as all this is, even more frightening are the scattered reports of these spooky entities actually attacking people. And from one weird report, the apparent Dogman Attack of some form comes from a site beyond creepy and occurred in a county of Mexico. The person who made the report says that it happened to his uncle as they were driving a cargo truck through a rather remote jungle area at night. As they made their way along a rough and rugged unpaved road, something very large and heavy reportedly jumped into the back of their truck. And the person telling the person telling the account says of what happened next. They didn't stop to see what it was because there were no lights on the road. My uncle on the passenger side saw the devilish creature that looked like a dog climbing closer to the cabin of the truck. They said the thing was huge. My uncle screaming in fear when he saw it. Said they tried to shake the truck, but it would fall off until it hit against the tree on the opposite side of the road and path. They kept driving all night through the morning, all freaked out. When they got to a gas station in the village, they saw gash marks and hand but animal prints on the windows. Who was trying to get in and on the back trailer. They told their story to some of the villager or farmers, and they told them that dogmen like demons roam these areas. And they were not the only ones who have been attacked before. They were so freaked out, the hair on both their arms raised, even telling their experience. They said they never drove through Central America besides the cities and villages at night ever again. I wish I could have recorded them telling the story. They've died already, but even before they died, they struck with what happened. They stuck with what happened to them and never did drugs. I mean, the dog man's. I don't know what to think of that. I really don't. Yeah. All right. Just reading chat. Yeah. Dog man. The thought of that, you know, really freaks me out too. And it's like, man, what the hell else is out here? Um, I mean, seriously, dude, you run along something that looks like that? Oh hell no, hell no. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. But getting out there and taking a look is about the only way I'm gonna know anything. Do what investigation and research I can here, and then go out in the field. That's just how you do it. Uh, you got to prepare yourself. Somebody asked me, "You going to go out there at night?" Hell no, I ain't going out there at night. Going out there at night. I go out there during the daytime, get a lay of the land. I need to know what if something happens, I find something out there, and I have reason to go back at night. Maybe if they allow it. Now, these are private people. I can tell you that right now. They're private people that want to be left the hell alone, and I can totally respect that. The wife went to school with my nephew. They know each other. When he run across a Facebook post about what happened to her horse, he contacted her and said, "Hey, that's awful. Look, my uncle does this type of research, and he looks into this weird stuff. Would you like to talk to him?" And then we contacted from there. And I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much right here, right now. Her husband's buddy believes it because she said that he called her husband up and said, "Yeah, Bigfoot got your goat. Bigfoot got your horse, man. That was Bigfoot. Bigfoot got your horse." And I don't know. He might be out there with me, and that's a good thing. I mean, I'm not ever truly alone, and I usually got a little horsey on my side with a 4 and 5 on it. Stinging a little bit until I keep it away. Might give me a little distance. But yeah, I don't go nowhere with this like an American Express card. I don't leave home without it. Um, yeah, we can get out there and find out. Maybe there's still some stuff out there. Like I said, I I found a track on a creek bed, and it was a big enough indention that it stayed even through a hard rain. The lighter um, impressions, the lighter impressions were kind of washed out, but that the main one was still there for a couple of days. So who knows? And look at this, going to be going on 6 days since it happened. So I don't know. Going to take that look though, because I said I was going to. I think they deserve it. You know, I mean, yeah, part of it's for me and broaden my knowledge base. I ain't gonna lie about that. But though, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'll run it in the ground if I have to. The Ravens Outpost is about spreading knowledge. It's gathering information and then spreading the knowledge out. That's why I love chat. That's why I love you guys to come in here and share your information. Like all this you're sharing about the differences between black bears and grizzly bears, and how you keep it with your defense and what to tell about you know their sign, where they've been, the differences in the tracks, and all this knowledge that you're sharing right now is what it's all about. You know, um, I appreciate what some of these other channels are doing out here. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. Rick, you're right. Those of you who aren't reading chat, Eric says, here's what I say when someone says you don't need more than 8 rounds. Let's put them in the woods with coyotes braying, bears growling, wolves howling. They'll change their damn mind real quick. And that's fact. That's why you take an AR out there. Of course, I wouldn't go out there without anything less than an AR 10 or a mini 30. 308, baby. 308. Smallest I go out there with. I got my 45. I'll have my 45 on my hip. I'll probably have my 45-70 in my truck. Yeah, painless. Come on in here. Your knowledge is greatly appreciated. And Kingston, if you're still around, come on back in. You laughing at me, bro? Oh lordy, I'm expecting it's hitting on the hitting 11:30. I'm expecting a raid to roll in here. That'd be cool. But yeah, um, but when we start talking about these lights, man, where the hell are the lights coming from? We're talking cryptids. We're talking um, unidentified lights. I don't know, man. It, okay, here we go. Here's one for you. Dark, the dark connection between UFOs and grisly mutilations. Um, One of the most shocking cases involved an Air Force sergeant allegedly abducted by a saucer-like craft. Colin Bertram. This is coming out of History's Channel. The details of both grisly and strangely surgical corpses found under the open sky with their eyes plucked out, tongues removed, and private parts excised, all extracted with the utmost precision and leaving not a drop of blood. Reports of such unexplained mutilations carried out on both humans and animals have baffled investigators for decades, leading to speculation about whether the perpetrators might be otherworldly beings conducting biological experiments on Earth's inhabitants. With scores of reports have emerged, while scores, I'll get it right in a minute, pardon me, while scores of reports have emerged from U.S. Western and Midwestern states detailing mysterious bloodless animal mutilations, human cases have been far less common and often much sketchier in their documentation. I'm grateful for that. You know, mostly you hear of the abductions. You know, and, well, the Betty and Barney Hill abduction story, the Travis Walton abduction story, the two most famous abduction stories out there right now. So just reading that, just reading that one article, it's you gotta think, what if it is some type of alien? I don't want to roll my eyes at this because it's real. I've seen too much shit. Um, what was that all about? Why'd they do that? I mean, the tongue of the horse wasn't removed, the eyes weren't removed, but just the entire, all the entrails were removed. It was totally hollowed out. I don't know. Yeah, I've read of that too. Very, very strange. Very strange. Oh no. Um, this next one is a story from 2019. You see this carcass right here, and you if you remember the photos that I showed Sunday night, it looks quite a bit like that. I mean, it's just caved in on itself because there's nothing in there. There's nothing in the cavity. Okay. Um, let's see. In the early morning light, dust from hooves created a fog at Silvis Valley Ranch in remote eastern Oregon. Cowboys whistle and talk low to their eager herding dogs, moving the cattle from one vast sage-studded range to another. 5 young purebred bulls mysteriously show up dead on the ranch at this past summer, drained of blood with body parts precisely removed. The ranch's vice president, Colby Marshall, drives his truck down a U.S. Forest Service road. Then we'll get out and take a little walk to where one of the bulls was found and the carcass still there. Coming upon the dead bull is an eerie sense. The forest is hot and still, apart from the raven's repeating call. The bulls look like a giant deflated plush toy. It smells. Weirdly, there are no signs of buzzards, coyotes, or scavengers. This red coat is as shiny as if it were going to the fair, but he's bloodless, and his tongue and genitals have been surgically cut out. It's just part of the story. It's just things to highlight what's going on, and it's just not isolated. Maybe Scottish Dogman wanted some haggis. Yeah, maybe, maybe. That's great. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've looked around for other people to maybe point me in the right direction because like I was telling you earlier, I want to be able to provide some answers for somebody if they need it, if they actually want it. I mean, I don't think um, from what I understand, what I've been told, that they're not looking for any answers. It is what it is, and they're going to go on about their lives. But even Max agreed with me that that's what's happened there. And other buddy, he's a professional who shall remain anonymous. This person's a professional whose job would be on the line. You know, he even said it was weird. It's so weird, and that they act that way. Another buddy of mine has said this is just crazy. That and I've had 3 people that I've talked to just straight up say that this is too heavy a deal to just shrug your shoulders at. Whatever killed that animal came back for it. It wasn't scared. Hopefully, wherever this is doesn't escalate. That's what I'm worried about. Right now, I don't think they have any more outdoor animals. And she stated that she's probably not going to get any more outdoor animals, which is probably the best thing because I doubt they make it now. Um, like a buffet out there if it's so, but who knows? You know. Um, like I said, that's what I'm worried about. They did it right there next to the house. They didn't do it just once. They did it twice. What they didn't finish, they came back for. So they weren't scared to do that. They weren't scared to do that at all. So they come right on back. So what's that tell you? You know that they've got very little fear. You know, and you sit back and if it is Sasquatch, what if they take an interest in who lives there in the house? These people have lived there since 2019. And they've seen a lot of weird stuff, but this is the first time anything like this has happened to any of their quote unquote farm animals. Nothing's happened like this before, so this appears to be it may be an isolated incident. I don't know, and I hope it is. I hope they got what they needed and moved on. And lots of times they just don't come back. But I don't know. You know, so we're getting to Dogman territory. And I hate that word too. It's like Bigfoot. Could you not come up with a more original name than that? It's like, damn. It's like naming your firstborn son Boy. This is Boy. I don't know if any of you ever watched any Tarzan movies back in the day. Especially Johnny Weissmuller. The later ones when him and Jane adopted Boy. Um, it's like naming your firstborn son Boy. This is Bigfoot. Why you name it Bigfoot? Because it's got big feet. Why do you call Dogman Dogman? Because it's half dog, half man. Well, duh. There's been a term for that type of creature for centuries. It's called werewolf. Okay, thank you very much. And the Native American people have had a name for these creatures for Sasquatch. Well, Sasquatch being one of them. You know, Sabe, Juniqua, and just to name a couple. But you know, you got boogers. Boogers is just a funny ass name for a damn creature. Boogers will get you. Boogers. Boogers. Yeah, they'll get me all right. Uh, you know, swamp ape, grass man. Then I could hairy man. Okay. Now those I can I can get behind a little bit better than Bigfoot. Um, Mainly because Bigfoot's got such a stigma to it. You know, you mentioned Bigfoot, people well, they laugh. They laugh as if they think it's a big joke. Unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword. When Finding Bigfoot come out, you know they brought attention to the subject, you know, and got people talking. But they also got to talking about what a bunch of idiots they look like running around beating and banging on trees and doing all this other stuff when they don't know what the hell all that shit means. It's not a monkey beating on a log. It's not a monkey beating on a log. It's not. They're communicating with one another in code. No. It's like SOS is dot 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 slash 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 dot 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 slash 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 dot dot dot. It's like that. It's code, and we don't know it. They have a language, and we don't know it. We can speculate. We can speculate all day. We have evidence of their existence, but as far as scientific evidence, it's all trace evidence. That's what they call trace evidence. It's we've got cat DNA, hair samples, track casts, whether they be feet or handprints, photographs, and with any other cryptid out there, it doesn't matter whether it's Bigfoot or Dogman, to get mainstream scientists to and Grover Krantz, those of you out there who know who Grover Krantz is, he even stated it back in the mid to late 90s when he was interviewed about it. He said it's going to take nothing short of an actual body being put on the slab. Not part of one, not a head, not an arm, an entire body put on the slab for them to study. Good luck with that. I'm sure there's one been brought already. If we want to get into that conspiracy part, y'all want to get in the conspiracy part? Have we been lied to? That our government knows more about these things than they're willing to admit? That if we have, it's not that we've had an encounter, it's how much we can prove that we've had an encounter, that they'll come along and start harassing people. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's weird. Real weird. Hmm. Okay, guys. 115 minutes. Creaming up on midnight. Hope you guys are still hanging around. Well, there you are. Well, get into cryptid files, the Dogman. I'm gonna bring this up here. Um, Before we get too involved with this, I make no claims whatsoever of being an expert on the subject of cryptids. I hear you, brother. Me either. This blog entry will cover things I've read, been told, or found through other means. I make no pretense of knowing more than anyone or possessing special knowledge. I merely compiled information, and quite frankly, I'm a horror writer. I gather the information and present it here in a format that I hope you'll enjoy. So he puts a little entertainment in it. It puts a little spin to it, which is good. I wanted to start the cryptid files with the part, with a look at one that actually worries me, the Dogman. Legends and tales date the Dogman back to times when the first settlers arrived here. There was a considerable amount of lore from Native American sources as well. There seems to be one thing linking the vast majority of the stories. Witnesses all describe a feeling of pure dread or of sensing nothing but evil from these creatures. A malevolent creature that fills them with fear and drives them to near panic. To me, That is the essence of the Dogman. Now, you talk about this fear, this irrational fear. Crazy how deep this rabbit hole goes. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Doing a bit of laundry. I need to do that too before I need to throw a load in before I go to bed. And yeah, I would like to see the lights too. Oh, I get you, man. I totally get you. I barely get me too. This dude, the majority of my knowledge comes from eyewitness accounts. Listening to Sasquatch Chronicles, listening to the confessionals, listening to um, World Bigfoot Radio, you know, listening to Bigfoot Odyssey, watching them, having their guests on and see what they talk about, and listening to people around me who've had encounters. You know, that's where I get the bulk of my knowledge from, and it's like a library. It's a database. They're all worried about you know, and look, I respect Kerry for what he's doing, and we're talking about Kerry Arnold right now, Bigfoot Odyssey. I totally respect him for what he's doing. It takes guts and it takes balls to get out there and do what he's doing, especially after the encounter he had. To get out there, he did what he said he was going to do, um, and he put together a hell of a team, and they got out there and got footage. And according to him, they've got some really great footage. It's great, and I watched an episode a few days ago, and they were talking about hair. Um, and I've talked about this thing too about the camouflage, the natural camouflage, and how they camouflage themselves, and how about the only mammal on this planet that has clear hair is a polar bear. And they have pictures of this hair that's not a polar bear's, but you see that light refract, not reflect, but refract, and it's like that whole cloaking thing I talked about here not too long ago in another video. Different ways they reported to be able to camouflage themselves, and I've done numerous videos on this, how they hide, how it's possible that they hide. I've got my own theories too, and that's a good one as any, and it's all right. They're getting down to the science of it, and bringing awareness. But I'm not built for that. I'll take this knowledge. I take what I can, and I'll share it, and I'll apply it when I'm out in the field. That's how I've gotten as far as I've gotten. There's a lot of these other investigators and researchers have got these crazy ideas. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Randy Harrington or not, but Randy has got some. You talking about thinking outside the box? This guy thinks outside the box. I've talked to him personally, and he sent me some of his audio. It's it's running by his tent. You hear these sounds of these heavy footsteps run by a tent. Now he'll set up a camp and it's empty. He'll like have a light or something inside the tent hanging from the center of the tent, right? Cast some type of shadow, and he'll be able to turn it on or off or something like that, and have a recorder in there, one or two, or maybe some video somewhere set up, and he'll see what happens, and he'll observe it from a blind, um, several yards away. I mean, it's brilliant, actually. Brilliant. But I've taken that knowledge and applied it out in the field. You know, doing certain things. You know, a lot of people out here who do this whole gifting thing. You know, habituate certain areas through gifting. You know, but you know, you get something back sometimes, but more likely than not through reports that I've read or accounts that I've heard, that this gifting isn't gifting at all. It's a tribute, and when you're paying a tribute to something, you're giving them something in honor of them, and they will expect that again next time you come around. And if you don't pay that tribute, there's a possibility they'll take it the wrong way. So you don't do that. That's just my opinion. I've spent 3 years habituating a site through nothing but my sin alone. I had the opportunity, the time and opportunity to be able to go out to these places 2 to 3 times a week, be able to spend 3 to 4 hours out there at a time in certain areas and rubbing up against stuff, doing my thing, just trying to be seen, trying to be heard. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be heard. Habituation through scent, sight, scent. Period. No gifting at all. I don't believe. I think that's just bad juju, man. You start leaving stuff out. It's like, okay, take this case I'm getting ready to work on this weekend. We've been talking about that. They did say they've been seeing bears around the place. What are they after? They leaving stuff out, not covering stuff up. Don't need to do that. I mean, I remember when I was. This has been years ago. I was living in this remote area. There's a fellow lived above me. He's deep in the woods, just like I was, and he had a shed and padlocked. This bear decided he was going to get into it and got in a huge. He got 100-pound bag of dog food. Got into the dog food. Just went to town. You can smell it in there. But they keep coming around. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's bad mojo, man. They come back to bite you in the ass. I'm not saying they're doing that though. Don't get me wrong. First of all, let's set this story straight. I don't think they're doing that. I just think these bears are just curious, getting around, looking around. But that being said, if they're doing that, they're getting that close. But they're next to the parkway. They're next to the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'll say that. If any of you are familiar with the Blue Ridge Parkway, it's a stretch of country road. It's government land, really. It's federal property. It's a stretch of highway that stretches from I think southern portion. It's a portion of northern Virginia, goes all the way down into Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and I think it drops out in either North Carolina or Georgia. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but that's a long stretch of road, man. It's all wooded, and there are people go up there and picnic. They have tourist attractions up there, little shops and stuff set up, um, where you can just eat, and then they have the trash set out. They look for that. There's people around. They'll. It's not like they're out actually walking in among the people, like I've seen some other places, like some places in Yellowstone, somewhere like that, where they'll just mingle around like Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, but they wait and then trash the place, getting the leftovers. But that could be their attitude. They could have been, if these bears have been coming back from the parkway, since they do live so close to it, they weren't thinking nothing of it. That could be the attitude the bear has. They're not malicious, nothing malicious. It's just almost used to people, and it's just, oh, they don't bother us, we won't bother them. I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna rug their shit, you know, and that's about it. Yep, years and years of reading and listening to various materials and programs. That's what I do. I read a lot of stuff. You see, I do a little research before I come on here, and try and find some research material. I mean, I've got a few things. Oh yeah, Seeds of Lockett Ranch. Well, that's a Sasquatch Chronicles episode. Ray, welcome, welcome. You just woke up. Morning glory. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be heading off to the bed myself here shortly. I'm probably gonna put another 30 minutes in, then I'm gonna call it adios. I'm gonna start. You're absolutely right, man. Um, Hard to know, just cause an animal isn't supposed to act a certain way doesn't mean it's not gonna. It all depends on its environment. Like I was saying, like they're out there on the parkway, on the Blue Ridge Parkway, where they're exposed to humans all the time, and now they're not out there as much. They're getting ready to go into hibernation, and they're just milling around, find a place to hole up for a couple of months, and they just go where they want to. Not miss this by that. You almost missed this by that. Missed us by that much. Yeah, get smart, man. Anywho, yeah, you take these animals that have been used, the wild animals that have been exposed to humans, that they're not, they're used to them, but they're still have that fear, but they're used to them, and they'll get into places where a normal critter of their species won't really consider doing. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of these are a product of their environment. But man, I just can't. I can't wrap my head around it. I just need to see it for myself. See the place, hear the actual story. I just need to see. Just had a conversation about children and dogs, biological, environmental. Yeah, it's weird. I see how they act. I'm gonna tell you right now, and here we go. Well, we're just sharing knowledge, right? Hell with it. The the Sabe people the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, right around here that I've been investigating for the past 3 years. They're used to people. Where I investigate, it's hiking trails and biking trails all over the place. All right, and they're primitive campsites all over the place. And some people have went way out of the way. Most of these campsites are close to the main forest road. There's a Forest Service road that runs up through this portion of the national forest where it's at, and on either side of the road you'll find campsites here or there. And these trails, man, you hike these trails, and it's like the main trail is rather an easy trail. It's just long. It's not really hard on you, other than it's just a long trek. It's like 7.5, almost 8 miles one way. So if you're parked somewhere, you're gonna want to think ahead because that's a 14-mile trip. So if I've seen people do it though. They'll park at one end and walk all the way down and then walk it back. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for all that. 14 miles. That's some hoofing it, man. That's some miles. And that these people, they're around them all the time. I personally, right. Yeah, absolutely. I don't minimize it. There's a lot of difference between, book learning and practical learning. You it's like when you first become a police officer, you get hired with a police department, you got to go through the academy. The academy is your book learning. Your practical stuff that they feel that you need to know. They get you prepared. That prepares you. But then you get on the job and you're in field training, and that's when the real learning takes place. That's when you're exposed to how actual people act. They're not scenarios; it's the real deal. And then you've got to use your best judgment. And that's where you learn. That's where you experience. Experience, true experience is your best trainer, your best teacher. It's like when I was training in martial arts. A buddy I used to train with, we'd get together outside the dojo and we'd train. And he was way better than he was way further in it. I learned more from him, really. And we were we were going through some moves, and he said, "I'm going to step it up a notch, and we're going to go full speed." And I wound up cracking some ribs, and that was my own fault. I misstepped, you know, wasn't paying attention. But pain is a good teacher too. That's what he told me. He said, "Pain is a real good teacher. You won't do that shit again, will you?" I said, "Nope," and I haven't. But let's not minimize the difference in education. learning through actual experience and teachings. That's exactly right. Absolutely. Same thing in the military, man. That's right. Absolutely right. You just learn your environment. And these creatures have learned what time of the year pain is the teacher. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, all type of physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, pain. But these creatures have learned what time of year traffic is heaviest, when they're going to be out. And a lot of people, when they're camping, um, the times they'll camp usually during a full moon, so they'll have extra light at night because it gets dark as shit in that holler. Let me tell you what, in certain places in that holler, it's the light gets swallowed up. I mean, dark is dark, man. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And there's been a couple of times I couldn't build a fire big enough. I mean, ugh. But I think that comes from me knowing exactly what the hell's out there. Whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of truth to that, man. And I do. I believe it's these Sasquatch. They they know people. They watch them. I myself have been off trail, just far enough off trail. Maybe, maybe 20 feet, 20, 30 feet max. And that's close enough to get to somebody pretty quick if I wanted to, right? These people are walking down the trail. I'm just standing there. I know this is creepy, and this sounds creepy, but I was just doing an experiment. They never knew I was there, and I'm dressed in jeans, and a shirt, and a jacket, and a hat. This hat, right? It's the only closest thing to camouflage I had on. But they're not thinking about that. They're walking along these trails. Most of these are city folks. Or Thomas Seawood. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Thomas Seawood or not, but I use a term he coined a phrase a lot, and I love it. The concrete Indians, people who aren't in touch with nature and their surroundings. They enjoy being out in nature, but they're city folk, town folk, and they don't pay no attention to that. They're out there to get away from the bullshit that they're living in, and they're not realizing what type of danger they could be in every time they're out there. Holy shit! My mother, when I got thrown from my horse at 12 years old, oh, look at you. You missed the lesson. Heartless bitch. 6 stitches later. That's great. But I mean, I've done this several times and been just off trail, and people just walk right by me, not even know I was there. And if you've seen my video on the structure that I found, it's a blind. I only saw it because there was snow on the ground. It was covered in snow. And I went back after the snow had melted. I mean, it was hard to see then. And come back in the springtime when all the leaves had come back on the trees. That son of a bitch was invisible. So they could crawl up in that thing and sit there and watch next to a trail. There's a little creek that runs down in front of it. And across the creek, you could clearly observe a trail and watch people all day long, and they would have no idea you're there, none. And it's crazy. So that things like that is what I'm going to go out there Saturday and try to find. Don't miss a lesson. Pay attention. That's right. Pay attention. A lot of times in my videos, I'll stress when you're out here, look down on the ground, have your head on a swivel, enjoy nature, but respect it for what it is. These joggers running, got their earbuds in, got their look, and they're la 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 la. They're gonna be running down the road. Next thing you know, they're gonna be face to face with a bear or a pack of coyotes that's just milling around, or something else. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know because they got their head up their ass. And you know, and part of me sits back and say, I can't blame them. You know, they're what I call normies, and they don't know. They really don't know. And I wish I could just get up there and shake the shit out of them and say, look, this is what's out here. This is what you've got to pay attention to. Get out of your goddamn bubble. Because people, and this is another thing, I learned when I was in law enforcement, people live in a bubble. And they think Hollywood is real. They watch a couple of episodes of Cops, and they think they know everything about law enforcement. It's just scripted. It's just scripted. I know that for a fact. Look around, up and down, all around. Yeah. Have your head on a swivel. Look at man has no natural airborne predators, so they're hardly ever looking up. But you never know what's above you. If a big cat is sitting up there waiting to jump on you and rip your throat out. Or if a Sasquatch is up there watching you. You just don't know. Desensitization causes ignorance. Exactly. We all have a natural inborn instinct that tells us when danger is around. But it's, I've talked about, decalcifying your pineal gland just to, get yourself more in tune. Open that third eye. It's there for a reason. It's so small, but so powerful. So freaking powerful. And dude, it's people are just so desensitized to everything. TV, they're on this right here. They're on this all the time, and they're down here like like this. Oh, what's new on Facebook? Oh, let's tweet something. Tweedle dee bop. I've seen it. I didn't see it firsthand, but I had to respond to it. But I'd go back and look later at security footage. A girl on her cell phone in a crosswalk, cars coming. They have these signs up, stop for pedestrians, right? The reason why they had these signs up and they had to paint the crosswalks neon yellow because of this stupid cow. This girl is on her fucking cell phone kept tapping away, head completely up her ass, and walks right out in front of a car. There's no way that car could have stopped. No way. Luckily, it was doing well under the speed limit. Luckily, the person who was driving, was paying attention enough to where he was able to stop and knock her on the ground. She wouldn't hurt that bad. She was bruised, beaten, banged up, but she wouldn't hurt too bad. Unfortunately, not too long after that, a girl was hit and killed, maybe a quarter of a mile away from there, on the same stretch of road, coming out of a parking lot. Once again, they weren't paying attention. I've had to work fatalities because of that ignorance, the desensitization. You see the video where this guy is riding a mountain bike. All of a sudden, here comes a black bear hauling butt after him. Yes, I've seen that one. I've also seen one of a grizzly. This guy's parked at the top of a hill, right? And he sees up above him, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he goes down over the hill, off the trail. It's like, oh my god, what the hell? Hey, the eyes are the window to the soul. There's there's a deeper truth to that than people realize. You know, you absorb all this trash information that covers up what you need to know. That's why a lot of people started waking up when the pandemic hit and we were under quarantine and all this other shit and all that lockdown bullshit. Um, People started to lose it. And there were other people who put things down and walked away from it and started getting out to nature where they felt like it could be safe from this COVID stuff. And let me put this out here. COVID-19 is no joke. It's no fucking joke. It's real, and yeah, it does kill people. But here's the thing: it's been politicized to the point where, you know, look, that's as far as I'm gonna go with that. It's been politicized too much. The real threat is the people behind it. And saying that, the real threat to us is the people behind feeding us all this junk information. You know, and I totally agree. That energy gets Ray. I totally agree. The energy gets in your space. You breathe it, absorb it, and most go unaware. And it's a fact. Like I said, I've seen it. I've seen how people just zone out. How they just don't pay attention to anything around them. And you've got to feel things. You got to know and sharpen that sixth sense. Lockdown bullshit. I love it when everybody tells me exactly. I I stay to myself. I avoid people as much as possible because, quite frankly, as a general rule, I don't like people because people are assholes. I do. I have a circle of friends too. Yeah. Say I wasn't paying attention. Dude, I was talking about, you know, how people are being fed bullshit and lies and how they've been indoctrinated since birth and their natural sixth sense, their intuition, and their sense of survival is so dull that they're just a hapless victim out here. You know, talking about getting out here and my circle of friends is triangular. Yeah. You know, a wise man once told me that, you know, you can count your true friends on one hand with a couple fingers missing. And it's a fact. And I know that for true. You know, you've got fair weather friends who, you know, who are there, but and then when the shit hits the fan and you need somebody, you call this person up. And it's been, you know, a couple months since you two have actually touched base and talked. And it's like nothing ever happened. Bam, you're there. I got a buddy right now. If he was to call me right now, I'd tell you guys adios, love you, mean it, and I'd be out the door. Fact. That's right. The more I get to know people, the better I like dogs. Exactly, because people are assholes. The general, you know, as a race, I can say this, and it's going to probably sound weird, but I love people for who they are, but I just don't like them. That's a general rule. I just don't like them because most of them are assholes. Ignorant assholes. I got one. Oh, outside of family. What's that like? Is it everything I dreamed of? Dude, I'm still alone. Married, got a kid, I'm still alone. Life's conditioned me that way, unfortunately. And it's hard on the people around you when you're like that. But you got people who get out in the woods, like I said, who have no earthly clue of what the hell's going on. Um, and the same thing goes, you know, for when they're out and about in their world, you know. So we'll circle about back around to this subject that you know I first started talking about, and this case that I'm working on right now. Um, I believe the people that this happened to are just normal, average people who want to be left the fuck alone. They didn't say anything to anybody about these animal attacks. Nothing. They didn't report to they didn't report the goat to the authorities. They didn't report their horse to the authorities. They're their animals, and they dealt with them how they saw fit. Yep, you're right. Eric, Ray, both of you. You're right on point. As usual. As usual. And like I said, they're not totally off the grid, but they're far enough out to where, you know, it would take a while to get to them. The county, they don't have local police. I mean, they've got the county sheriff's office and where they lived at. And I did my diligence and Google mapped it. I got their address and I Google mapped it and see their surrounding area, and it's it's pretty remote. Like I said, it's off the Blue Ridge Parkway. And if they're seeing bear, I'd say it's because the bear been conditioned. They've been around people. They're used to them, and they'll just mill around and do things normal bear who are out in the wild wouldn't do on a regular basis. But these people, like I said, they're normal people. They take care of their own, and they just want to be left alone. Not, I don't. I'm not going to draw any attention to their place. Not giving out any addresses. Not giving out any names, because I'm a private person and I like my privacy. But I think this is a case that needs to be brought to light, brought to people's attention, so that they'll know what to do. Rebelicious. Your biker name. Hey, Rebelicious. I love it. It's great. Yeah, it's uh, it's going to be interesting to see what happened for real once I get out there and actually talk to these people. I don't know. Hard to tell. I I bet. I spent my childhood barefoot in the woods. It's where I had my first experience with Sasquatch or whatever the hell it was. I'm assuming it's Sasquatch. It sounded enough like it, and with comparing the Ohio Hells and you know the Sierra Sounds, close enough. And I've heard enough people um, describe almost to a T exactly what I heard, and they were in like Arkansas or Ohio or somewhere out west. That lion roar that turns into a howl, that turns into a scream. It's and the volume, you could feel it. It's the craziest shit ever. I'll be honest with you. I automatically thought werewolf. It could have been Dogman, and then not Bigfoot. But I've been out where I'm at right now. It's definitely Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever. I keep going back to it because it's supposed to put people know. But okay, I read chat. Pebbles. Biker name would be Haul Ass. Problem is, I've gotten so fat, I gotta make 2 trips. Son of a. That's some funny shit, man. That's some funny shit. You guys are tearing it up. My peeps in the chat tonight. All 2 of you. Love you. Mean it. Oh, hellfire. We'll see. That's right. You're Eric, is that where you're from? You're from Idaho? Yeah. Who runs with scissors? I bet. I bet. Dude, I look for you here. You, Ray, Painless stopped by. I talked to Iron Dogger a little bit last night on the Mogul Monsters show. They got the they were having a good time. I really want to get on there and see if I can get some information because I know Mogulon he's got some experience dealing with some weird shit, and I wanted to see if he'd actually had any uh, uh, run-ins with what I'm dealing with, the mutilations and whatnot. But it, they were having a good time, and I didn't want to be a, a Debbie Downer and actually talk about real shit. And they were having fun. So I said adios and moved on. I'll do what I got to do. From Michigan originally. Oh, so you've got a double dose of it. Yeah. I know a few people from Idaho. Know a few people from Idaho. Miss Goodbreak is from Idaho. You know who I'm talking about. She she's got some of the best audio recordings I've ever heard. Some crazy shit. Oh, you're in North Carolina now. Oh, Dogger can. You know, she and her partner are getting ready to be inducted into the Iron Dog Hall of Fame. It's like the Iditarod sled race, but with snowmobiles. 2,000 miles on a freaking snowmobile through all that shit. It's running basically the same trail as the Iditarod, but another 1,000 after that. The halfway point is the finishing line for the Iditarod. And they've finished it, I think, 2 or 3 times. And they're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's fucking impressive, man. That woman's tough as iron nails. Oh, you were born in Maryland. That's where my wife's from. Calvert County, where she's from, I think. Moved down here, went started going to. You know where I'm talking about? She's from there, and I bet it did. I'm sitting on top of a mountain. I hear it down over the holla, and behind me. I mean, it's like 11 o'clock at night. It's just me. I like the solo Calvert County, I think it was. It's where she's from. Her mom lives in Sykesville now. I told her about the Sykesville monster and she got all bent out of shape. I don't know if you've heard of that Sykesville monster or not, but it was a Bigfoot sighting up there. And I was talking about you. You said you were born in Maryland. My wife's from Maryland. Calvert, yeah, Calvert County. Yep. Mm-hmm. And like I said, her mom lives in Sykesville now. She used to live not too far from Baltimore. Really, really, that's cool. She likes it there. She's lived there now for several years. Oh, okay, that's cool. What's her Maryland? So Eric, where you say you're in North Carolina now? What part of North Carolina are you? You in northern or southern? I'm not looking for specifics or anything like that, but you know, I'm in Southwest Virginia. It's like I could go to West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, or uh, uh, North Carolina. Be there in about 3.5, 4 hours. Westminster, Mount Airy, North Carolina. That chick. Been all over. I ain't lived outside of Virginia. I haven't. I haven't not lived outside of Virginia. Something happens to my poor mama though, that might change. Cherry Point and Camp Lejeune. Okay. 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 Oh, Ray, you are the chick with the sightings in Westminster. Is that what you're saying? I'm a little slow on the uptake. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wow, a lot of dead air going. I need to start talking some more. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, I'm reading about mountain lions right now. Um, Sorry, I'm not paying attention right now to chat. There be werewolves. I think there are. Uh-huh. Next time I'm going to do StreamYard. Um, and I will definitely put a link in chat, and we can get on here and we can talk. Absolutely. Friday, dude, come on Friday. I'll do StreamYard Friday instead of what I'm doing right now. I'll do StreamYard, and I'll put the link in chat, and just click on it. And we'll hook up with talk. I didn't have a whole lot of time to autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect, man. On my phone, I had to go back in the settings because I got a new update. Apple's always updating some shit, and they turned everything. They reset all my settings. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So I had to go through and I had to fix every damn thing, and I forgot the autocorrect, and it was I wouldn't because my fingers are flying if I'm texting, and I want to send it because I want to get it over with, and I don't look at the spelling because I'm assuming I spelled it correctly, and then something says, "Oh no, that's not what you meant. You meant to say this." No, it didn't, motherfucker. This is what I meant to say. So I gotta pay. I really gotta pay attention. So I had to go back in the settings and turn all that shit off. What national forest you talking about, bro? Yeah, we'll talk about this shit Friday night. So here's the deal. I'm just gonna put this out here. Um, so I'm gonna put this out here on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights 10:30 is what time I'm gonna come on. Run to about midnight at 12:30, 1 o'clock. Um, because I'm getting up early in the morning. I don't want to be up 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, we're hitting close to it now. But Friday nights will be at midnight. Do the late show on Fridays. But 10 o'clock on Wednesday nights. Man, normally get something to drink. But tonight, a jar of pickle juice. No, I'll pass. I love pickles, but not that damn much. Anywho, look, I'm so glad you guys showed up and you're hanging out with me. I learned stuff tonight, and that's the whole point. I need to learn all I need to learn. Get in here and read some more of these articles. But Friday night, yeah, we're gonna. It may only be an hour and a half. Friday night. Um, run about 1:30, 2 o'clock tops, and yeah, because I got a big day ahead of me Saturday. I got to be on top of my game Saturday, and yes, it is always fun as long as I've got somebody to talk to and I ain't talking to dead air. I love it. I love it. Love it when you guys show up, bullshit with me. When we talk this stuff. And there's Lord knows I ain't got nobody else to talk to about it. My wife, she's like, I don't want to know nothing about it. You know, I'll talk to her some. She'll listen, but after a while, you can just see her eyes kind of glaze over and like blah 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 blah. That's what she's hearing. Bless her heart. And then, like I said, I can understand because you know she's she's a normie too. She really is, and she's had her run-ins with the paranormal before, but she's the type to say, nope, no, 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 that didn't happen. That no, I ain't got time for all that. We'll just we got the real world to deal with. That's bad enough. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Gotta keep those gears upstairs well oiled. Amen. Amen. You gotta be thinking. That's your biggest muscle. That's what's gonna get you out of the most trouble. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you get better looking each day. Each time I look in the mirror, I'm seeing one hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. Is that about right? I know that song well. Let me get better look at each dance. I love it. It's great. All right, guys. I am going to sign off. I'm going to call it a night. Absolutely. When the body fails, keeps the mind strong. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's I fell victim to a point in time where my mind wasn't that strong, and it took a toll on my body as well. I know a couple people are going through. I mean, times are tight. Uh, Life's shit right now, and people are going through a lot of it. All that telling you, you're talking to us. Oh Lord. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with me tonight. All of you who are going to be tuning in later, and yeah, you're right. We're we're all going through bullshit right now. I got my hangups with politics, but I try not to bring them in on the show unless it's something that's pertinent. And I mean, we talked a little about it earlier today, but or tonight rather. But it is what it is. But the mind, body, and spirit Trinity, it's all collected and connected. There's power three. There's a reason why there's a Trinity, and it's everywhere. There's threes everywhere. There's a reason why, and you're absolutely right. It's all connected. I've and then I'll say one more thing before I sign off here. These lights that have been seen out here on this property that I'm getting ready to investigate on Saturday, these lights have something to do with what's going on. I about guarantee it. I don't know how long. I didn't ask to text. I think that if they've been seeing them for a while, I think there's something going on. I think they're connected to that. And wherever those lights are coming from, I'm going to find out where those lights are coming from. And 9 times out of 10, my ignorant ass is going to go up that hill and see. Going to look for my damn self. So, and Painless asked if it's at all possible for me to go live on Saturday I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go live on StreamYard from my mobile phone on Saturday if I've got the connection, which probably won't where I'm going to be at, but who knows? I might have stronger signal than I got here at my house. But I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna do what I can, and I'm always doing some clicking. I'm always clicking something. Damn it! Somebody should be clicking, and uh, and I will let you guys know. I'm gonna if I can't go live, which like I said, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to. I'm definitely gonna film it, and then I'm gonna put everything together. Um, on oh, what you got to say, Ray? Say whatever you need to here. All right. I get where you're coming from. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like I said, I probably wouldn't be able to go live anyway. It's so remote out there. But yeah, yeah, keep your energy clean. You're right. You're right. So I won't go live Saturday, unless I find something different. I can, I don't know. Maybe when I get home, right here from my computer. Oh yeah, I should bring some sage too. To be honest, much the place around, right around where all that stuff took place. Need to get a hold of some sage. Get a long stick and put tinfoil on the end of both. That's right. You know, I talked about here not too long ago. Here we go again. I'm going to go off on another tangent. I talked about getting your mind right before you go out somewhere, and I was talking to my nephew about it, and you know, it used to be when I went out in the woods, I had one. No, I don't have a singing bowl. Um, I know where I can get one. What type do you suggest? I said, I gotta go. I gotta go. No, you bring up something, and I got something to say. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but fuck it. The harmonics, right? But a place I know where I can actually get a singing bowl. I can actually buy one, right? And they've got different sizes. Do you suggest a size? I mean, I'm something like something I can just carry around with me, a smaller one, or one with a more deeper resonating tone, because they got that too. They did have a singing sword. Oh, okay. I see the Bugs Bunny one in my head right now. Damn it, Eric. Okay. 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 I'm picking up what you're laying down. The typos don't mean shit to me. I got an 8-year-old autistic child whose handwriting looks like shit, but I read it. I understand what he's saying. Never asked a woman what size. No, no, no. uh, I've had, I've been, I got sick here a while back, and in the past, I've had to take a lot of antibiotics, and you know what antibiotics do to your body? It just screw it all up, especially killing off the good bacteria in your intestines. So it leads to me to having, chronic gastritis, which if you've ever had, is painful as shit, and I don't want to have that stuff no more. So I've been, I got off the You're right. I'll take him with me. I'll have him. Yeah, I'll have him take a look at it. He Anyway, I eat a lot of sauerkraut now, and take a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar a day. Help my stomach. So yeah, and that works on me. I, yeah, I didn't learn that till much later. Eating the yogurt, but when you're taking antibiotics. Yeah, good parfait. Everybody loves good parfait. What movie is that from? Hmm. Sauerkraut. Yep. Sauerkraut and cut up some andouille sausage in it. I cut up some garlic and onion. Put a little butter in it. Fry it up. Mm. My wife hates the smell of it. She hates it. I eat the hell out of it. I'll fix a whole can. Cut up a whole sausage. Andouille sausage. Yes, sir. Shrek. Yes, sir. Anyway, that was the trivia for the night. That's a trivia question. Mary Rodwell. No, I have not. I'm unfamiliar with Mary Rodwell, Ray, unfortunately. Cut back on the animal flesh, really? In the morning, we can make waffles. I could see him saying that. I actually have John Green. He had a documentary. Oh gosh, it's old, man, made back in the 70s. It was on Amazon Prime for a while, but I can't find it anywhere anymore. So you say I need to cut back on the animal flesh? Well, I've been on a carnivore diet for a while. Oh, okay, okay. I will definitely look that up. My he's a special kid, man. I got a nephew. He's like that. Okay. Yeah. You know they were. I can't remember where it was off of Confessionals or Sasquatch Chronicles. They were talking about the savant theory with the Sasquatch, where they compared. Okay. Yeah. My stomach got all tore up when I was in the hospital a couple months ago. Um, yeah. Yeah. I don't want to go there again. And put me on two types of blood pressure medication, and I was on some super antacid for my stomach, and took all that crap, got rid of it, and it was awful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, you're right. My nephew, um, Justin, he's really into the Lord right now. He's really into the good book, and yeah, he's he's such a great kid. He really is, and he feels it. And I tried to talk to him about the gray areas, but I didn't want to go too deep because he's young, he's impressionable. He's just 14. He's autistic, and it's like you say, there's no real gray area. It's all black and white. It is what it is. Okay, you're right. You know the cycle they put us on. The drugs. It's like the pharmaceutical industry. I've talked about that too. That the if you heal anybody, you're gonna lose customers. So they don't want to heal you. They want to treat you. They want to treat the symptoms. They don't want to heal you of the symptoms. Asperger's. Yeah. Special children, man. Special children. Absolutely. That's what I told my son the other day. We were sitting at the bus stop, waiting for his bus to come, and he was telling me something. I said, "Man, I need to learn from you." He said, "Yeah, I'm smart, ain't I, Daddy?" I said, "Yes, son, you are." Absolutely, they want your business. The only reason why they stay open. People ask, "Why haven't they found a cure for cancer yet? Where's the money in it? Where's the money for a cure for cancer?" Star seeds. I'll write this. All right, I missed your statement about Christopher Noel. What about Christopher Noel? Let's see. So I found one book from her, um, Mary. Um, um, The New Human, Awakening to Our Cosmic Heritage. Yeah, yeah, you're right. He's the one. You're right. You're right. Yep, 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 yep. The Bigfoot Savant. I think it was the name of the episode. And Christopher Noel was on there. Um, I believe that. It's their repetitive. They have a repetitive nature. They do things in patterns. I mean, much like an autistic child was. I remember Justin, my nephew, the one I was just talking about. Um, he used to like to spin things, right? Especially coins. He could spin just about anything. I've not seen him do it since. My son used to stack stuff, not blocks, but he would get in my pantry or my cabinets and pull out all the canned goods and stack them. I'm like, holy shit, how, what a, what? He'd be a master at Jenga. But I watched my nephew spin something, and there was no way I could. I mean, just like that. Seriously, it would just boom like that. He would drop it, and it would spin forever. It's like, how do you do that? Yeah, I'll go back and look at that. And line shit up. Yeah, I need to do that. I may have had a key to a lot of things sitting right here in my lap this whole time. What do you think? Just paying attention to how my son acts and how he thinks, and I don't know. I think, yeah. Well, my sister seems to think that both me and my little brother have some form of autism, and I've had it for years. I've always had some type of learning disability. Um, I, it's they call it ADHD or some shit like that now, and I'd stay laser focused on a subject that I loved, and I could teach you about it when I was a lot younger. You know, different now and jaded with age, but yeah. So Yeah, Mary Rodwell. I can see what all she's got here. Wow. So yeah, I'm looking into it. Maybe my library actually has this book. Maybe I can get it from there. Anyway, yeah, connecting with autistic children. There's autism all throughout my family right now, and when I'm talking my family, I'm talking my extended family too. Um, my wife's sister has three autistic children, and all on different levels. Two are pretty much nonverbal. Um, and it's I look at these children, these poor children, and I see what they have to go through, and I see what my son has to go through. And his my son is so high functioning that sometimes you forget until you see his ticks when he gets excited and how his mannerisms. People see how my son acts when he gets excited about something and giggles and just um they would think, dude, what the hell's wrong with this kid? Having a fit? No, it's just how he is. Crystals. You know, that's something I've been thinking about getting into, and I've had so many people tell me is crystals are just rocks, but I know better than that. I've All right, let's get into woo here for a second. Um, I've felt the magic in certain crystals and how they absorb energy, how they can, you know, dissipate energy, how they work. Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to get back in touch with my sensitive roots. Sorry. Um, all right. Oh shoot, it's almost 1:30. Happy Thursday. Yeah. Gosh almighty. They yeah, they hold information like like a computer chip, like a hard drive. They hold it. Informational energy. I know a little bit about this stuff. Um, I've forgotten about a lot about my occultic lore. Um, need to get. I need to brush back up on it. Um, I used to, kind of balance things out with the occult and you know the the science part of it. Now, magic is just science that we just don't know about yet. Don't fully understand. That's just my opinion. I'm open minded about the whole thing. Granite. I've heard about that too. I heard granite holds a lot of energy. Like, and I don't know. I need to look more into that. Stone. Actually holding stuff in my hand. Yeah, I can read all day and absorb so much, but unless I've got to be hands on. I really do. I've got to be hands on. Once I'm hands on, I learn so much faster. I absorb it so much quicker. It's the touch and feel of what it is. It's like, I used to work with power tools. No, yeah, it pisses me off too, Ray. I hear people say a new age bullshit. Ancient, ancient. You're absolutely right. Lord have mercy. God, this has been fun. This has been fun. It always turns into a big conversation. We start on one thing and I well, it goes where it goes. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. All right. Here we go. This case I'm working on. So I've been talking about it all night. Okay. There's a stream that runs right close to where the animals were cut up. Water, the lights, where it all happens in all in proximity. And she asked me if there's a stream there's by, if I think it has anything to do with it. I said absolutely. Yep, I agree. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. But you've noticed I've been on several different shows, right? Have you ever seen them ask me back? Have you ever seen them ask me back? They haven't, because of these conversations we're having right here. And all these shows that I've been on have been Bigfoot shows. And at the time, they were strictly Bigfoot. If you got into the woo, it was like, all right, we'll see you later. Yeah, listen, your crazy ass. And now they're catching up. And that's what I've been trying. That's what I tell a lot of these other people. A lot of my theories and this, that, and the other. And I say, yeah, they call us conspiracy theorists. Nope. We just know the truth, and we're waiting for the rest of you fuckers to catch up. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. All right. 251. 2 hours and 51 minutes. That'll be almost another 3 hour long show. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out here. And once again, to those who will be viewing, if you've made it this far, thank you. And Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 10:30, I'll be on. Um, Friday nights, it's at midnight. Um, we have to branch out. It's a web. I see that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But people, Ravens Outpost is signing off. It's been a great night. We start out with one subject, and it goes where it goes. This show has a mind of its own, and uh, I have things set up, but I just love the fact that it's got a flow, and it pretty much has a mind of its own, and it's had a mind of its own since its conception. The first real big show, we get out here and we got to talking about one thing, and one thing leads to another, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And guys, Ray, Eric, all you guys who've still hung out, yeah, good night, everybody. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you, mean it.